studios in New York City. This is Charlie Rose.
Wow. Good morning.
A couple of bigger questions beyond Apple. You once said to me at a conference, and I was about ready to go in and interview someone in a big public conference. I said, what do you think I should ask? And you said, either facetiously or not, ask them what comes after the internet.
I remember telling you that. And I remember your reaction. You were like this.
Yes.
I wanted you to ask them because I wanted to hear what they were going to say. I think you have to think about things like that.
Indeed.
And sometimes in the Valley, you can everybody can get so fixated on one thing, and lots of companies pop up and do those things, and you're not thinking enough about the next thing.
Right.
And so it's something that we think about, and I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is. We always have some ideas here and there.
Well, give me one.
Well, I don't want to give you one. I don't want anybody else to copy it. We have people out there to copy us, and so I don't want to help them do that.
In this country, we've had to, because of Edward Snowden and other incidents, try to come to grips with the idea of freedom, privacy, and national security.
Yeah.
Where is that debate?
Well, I think it's a tough balance, and I don't think that the country or the government found the right balance. I think they erred too much on the collect everything side. And I think that the president and the administration is committed to kind of moving that pendulum back. However, you don't want, it's probably not right to not do anything. And so I think it's a careful line to walk. You want to make sure you're protecting the American people, but you don't want to there's no reason to collect information on you or 99.99% of other people.
A lot of people say, have said to me, there's a whole ton of information already out there that are in the possession of companies like Google, like so many other companies, that information is there, and they worry about that. Too much personal information is out there, and who has access to it, and that kind of thing, which is different than the national security implications of what you do to listen in on people's phone conversations, or what technology companies do to provide a list of whatever might happen.
We've taken a very different view of this than a lot of other companies have. Our view is when we design a new service, we try not to collect data. So we're not reading your email. We're not reading your iMessage. If the government laid a subpoena on us to get your iMessages, we can't provide it. It's encrypted and we don't have the key. And so it's sort of the door is closed. Yeah. But our business, Charlie, is based on selling these. Our business is not based on having information about you. You're not our product. Our product are these, and this watch, and Macs, and so forth. And so we run a very different company. I think everyone has to ask, how do companies make their money? Follow the money. And if they're making money mainly by collecting gobs of personal data, I think you have a right to be worried, and you should really understand what's happening to that data, and the companies, I think, should be very transparent about it. From our point of view, you can see what we're doing on the credit card thing. We don't want it. We're not in that business. I'm offended by lots of it. And so, I think people have a right to privacy. So I think that's going to be a very key topic over the next year or so. we'll reach higher and higher levels of urgency as more and more incidents happen. I think that for us, in the Snowden thing, just to go long on that for just a moment, is what we wanted instantly to be totally transparent, because there were rumors and things being written in the press that people had backdoors to our servers and all this kind of stuff. None of that is true. Zero. We would never allow that to happen. They would have to cart us out in a box before we would do that. If we ever give information, and we finally got agreement from the administration to release how many times we had national security orders on Apple, and in the 6-month period, and we had to release a range because they won't let us say the exact number, it's between 0 and 250. That's the lowest number you can quote, 0 to 250.
Could have been 1 or it could have been 249. But.
Correct.
Right.
But so you can tell we have hundreds of millions of customers. So it's a very, very rare instance that there's been any data asked. And one of the reasons is we don't keep a lot. You know, so we're not the treasure trove of places to come to.
I mentioned Robert Kennedy and Martin Luther King in your office. Tell me the values that you consider most important beyond the culture and the values of Apple. Tim Cook, the man.
Treating people with dignity, treating people the same, that everyone deserves a basic level of human rights, regardless of their color, regardless of their religion, regardless of their sexual orientation, regardless of their gender, that everyone deserves respect. And you know, I'll fight for it until my toes point up. And I think those two guys, if you look back in history, I think they're not the only two. There were many that really, but they laid their lives on the line, and they knew they were doing it. And I had the just tremendous respect for both of them. And so I look at them every day, because I think for people, there's still too many cases in the world and in the United States where there's a class kind of structure, or we're voting, or people are trying to convince each other that this other group of people don't deserve the same rights. And I think it's crazy. I think it's un-American. I think it doesn't belong. And I also see, as a businessman in Apple, I can see the value in diversity. I see a tremendous company that, because we don't judge each other, because we don't have different rights and so forth, because we allow anyone in the front door, I see a company that that this inclusion really inspires innovation. And so I see the value of it from that point of view as well. But from a human point of view, I feel it's just and right. And I've seen it not occur. And I've seen the devastation of it not occurring. And so I want to do everything I can do to not only not propagate
what offends
it,
me most about discrimination is that you're not being able to not access the full range of not only of humanity, but also you're doing a huge disservice to yourself because the human potential.
I agree.
Anything that restricts the human potential is doing a disservice to you and to everybody around you.
I agree. And it's not what the country was based on. Yeah. You know, I get back to that. It's there's some basic level of rights that our forefathers had the insight to think about. And we're still fighting 250 years, a little less than that, I guess, afterwards to see that vision. But it's worth the fight. And we've certainly come a long way since Dr. King's speech in the mall, but we have a lot further to go. We have a lot further to go.
And finally, there's the threat to the planet.
There is. And this is one that we're putting a lot of energy in. We
at Apple.
We at Apple, we want to leave the world better than we found it. And what does that mean for us? It means that we take toxins out of all of our products. We've done that. I think we're still the only consumer electronics company that's done that. It means that we focus on renewable energy. And so we have a data center that people told us we could never get to 100% renewable energy there. It was just it was too much. We'd never get there. Well, we're there. We have it in Maiden, North Carolina. You should go see it. Working with both the state and working with the talent within Apple, we were able to pull that off. We've got other data centers, 100% renewable. We're building the headquarters, our new headquarters. It'll be 100% renewable. And we're working on our supply chain. And we're digging deep within the supply chain, and we've got initiatives going on there as well. And so, to me, I know some people have issues with this, but to me, it's all about leaving the world better than you found it. And I don't know about you, but when I spend my spare time, when I have any, I like to be out in the national parks and reminding myself of the land and the beauty of it. And you can go to different places and see that slipping away. And it's not right. And we owe it to the younger generation, to solve this and not to keep turning and looking the other way.
Those same values also ought to be applied to the people who make Apple products wherever they live and wherever they work.
Absolutely. And you can see what we've done there. We have trained now well over 1 million, probably 2 million people on their rights. And where you and I have a good view of what our rights are, that's not the same in every country in the world. And so one of the best ways you can make sure that things are happening well is if people stand up and say, something's happening that's not right here. We've audited so deep in our supply chain, and we do it constantly. Looking for anything that's wrong, whether it's down to there's a safety exit blocked. We have gone beyond the auditing and are now essentially holding university-style classes on the manufacturing campuses of our partners. Because people see, just like you and I probably, you don't start in life here, you start in life at the bottom and you crawl up. And so we're trying to provide education, which to me is the great equalizer among people, to people on the factory floor who want and aspire to do more. And so we've worked with local Chinese universities to employ classes right on campus to make it super convenient for people. I really feel that we've done a tremendous amount in this area, and plus we've been incredibly transparent, because this is an area, unlike me being secretive about the future, I want everybody to copy, and I'd love that everybody takes exactly what we're doing and do it, and if they've got any better ideas, I want them, because I think we all ought to be, just like with the environment and human rights, this is an area we ought to all share, we can all improve the world on. It's not building a new product where we want to keep it secretive.
And the Apple of your future stands, as Steve once said, at the junction of tech and humanities?
Yes, it does, and you can see it in these products, in this incredible watch. You can feel it. You can see that in everything that we do, we have this focus on how am I changing the world? How am I enriching somebody's life? How am I making things easier for people? And we're just not making products to sell. That's a very, that doesn't get me up in the morning. I get up in the morning, and many other people get up in the morning to change things. I mean, that's who we are as a company. That hasn't changed. That will always. We may change other things. We may become more open. We may participate in these things that we haven't done before. But what drives us are making great products that enrich people's lives. It's the same thing that's driven Apple forever.
But it's been a good business. Are you now not the largest company in the world in terms of market cap?
We are. But we don't fixate on it, Charlie. I don't get up in the morning thinking, wow, we're the largest. Let me act arrogant. And,
well, no, you don't think of it that way. You think of it so you also have over $100 billion in the bank, based on whatever the stock buyback has done, which I don't know the numbers. You do think of that in terms of the opportunities it provides you to do all the things that we've been talking about.
I do.
Whether it's technology, whether it's humanities, whether it is being a good citizen.
I do. And I see it as a responsibility. I don't see it as a burden. I see it as a responsibility, and I feel that this gives us even a greater ability to contribute more. Not just in the monetary sense. We'll always contribute the most to humanity through our products, because these products will change people's lives and enable them to do things they couldn't do before, and we can reach more people doing that. But I'm proud to be working on Product Red with Bono in eliminating AIDS in Africa. I'm proud that we're out in front on environment. I'm proud that we're pushing like crazy in human rights. I'm proud that we're working on education and trying to change the way teachers teach and students learn. These things excite me. These things move the dial in the world. And I'm not just talking about the U.S. I'm talking about, worldwide. And I think these are the things that make our hearts sing. These are the things that get us up in the morning, and it drives us to do unbelievable things and work unbelievably hard. It's not the largest market cap in the world. This is not an objective where people will work the extra hour, will go the extra mile. Those things aren't things that push people. I mean, I don't know. They don't push me anyway. And I'm not saying that to all the shareholders out there, I'm not saying I'm not focusing on you. I am very focused on them. But I'm talking about what drives people. And what we've learned is something simple. It's very simple in a way, is if we focus on great products that enrich people's lives, and we do that well, really well, the financial returns will follow, and our shareholders will be happy, and it's a continuous circle. And so I like that because it's simple. Too many companies focus on let's try to get the largest market cap. And that doesn't drive people. I was at Compaq at a time where the objective was to become a $40 billion company. Well, employees don't get excited about that. This isn't something you wake up and you go, I'm going to take the hill today to do and it's just not that. But changing the world. These are the things that people work for, and this pushes people. And so this is who we are as people. And it's the values of our company. It's been the values of our company forever. Steve, and it's Steve's credit. He put these values in the company. And not only, so it wasn't just his values, it was his mentoring and teaching that instilled these deep in the company. And so if I step off the curb this afternoon, I hope I don't, but if I do, those will be the values of the company tomorrow. And the next day and the next day. It's that deep, and it is. I know I probably said it too many times, but it's a privilege of a lifetime to be there, because I think there's no place like it on earth.
What was it that Bono said to you?
They got me to buy his free album?
Yes. What did Bono say to get you to buy his free albums? And what did he say to you when he walked over to you at the presentation? It was something akin to Zen Meister. I'm not sure what it was.
He called me the Zen Master or something, because he can't shake me. He can't shake me up. From our point of view, it's kind of simple. Is we love music. We were thrilled with the album. We think the album is killer. I don't know if you've listened to it yet. I'd really encourage you to do it. And so what we wanted to do was we wanted to give something to our customers. And I think the vast majority of them are going to love the music and love the gift. Some may not love it. I hope they all do. But it was more about our customers. And so it felt great to participate in something that's music history, with the largest album release ever. But the real thing was giving something to our users. And
so you can get the album free.
Yeah, and I hope you listen to it. They have done a killer job. They've worked on it for 5 years. The band done incredible work here, and I think you're really going to like it. They performed one song at our event, and I think the crowd really liked it.
Thank you for coming.
It's been a pleasure.
A pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. I will never forget this.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. Back in a moment. Stay with us.